So it seems that some of the more popular videos on my channel are the phrases videos. So in this video, I actually want to talk about how do you actually learn phrases so you can use them appropriately, properly, and instead of just accumulating these new phrases from my videos just in your head, how can you actually use them? So in this video, I'm going to be discussing the 5 steps and how you can do that. Hey guys, before we return to the video, I just want to tell you that ESA is now open for application. So if you are a professional or an expat who need to urgently speak English in your life, make sure that you check this out because it's going to be super interesting. So go on the website, click apply now, and we will get in touch with you if you guys are a fit into this program. So back to the video and enjoy. Number 1 is to understand. Before memorizing a phrase, it's very important to actually understand the meaning of the phrase. Understand the context, the usage, in what situations are they used. For example, let's say you found the phrase just in case. So when you learn this phrase, understand, okay, in what situation should I use just in case? And how do you try to understand it? You look for examples where this phrase is used. If you get this phrase from like a TV series, a movie, or a podcast, try to understand the entire context of the sentence and how this phrase just in case plays a role in that sentence. However, it's important to know that it's much better to not translate this phrase into your native language. Even though a lot of the times translating a new phrase that you got into your native language, it's a fast way to understand it, but it doesn't give you deeper understanding of the phrase. Because if you get in the habit of translating a new phrase or a new word in your target language, you're always going to be thinking in your native language. But we are not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about that in the next video, or maybe the video after. But the point is that you need to understand when, where, or how this phrase is used, and try to rely as little as possible to translation. Step number 2 is to associate. So you want to associate the phrase to specific contexts, scenarios, or even feelings. For example, let's take the phrase "that's a bummer," which means that when you say this, you are expressing a feeling of disappointment. So there it is. You want to associate the phrase "that's a bummer" to that feeling of of when you're feeling disappointed about a certain thing. And this is connected to the first point that we talked about before. This is a deeper level of understanding. Say here you understand that this phrase is used in situations where, let's say, you're hoping for something to happen, but it didn't happen, and therefore there is a feeling of disappointment, and you want to associate with that feeling. So for example, let's just say, think about the time that you were very excited about going on a vacation with your group of friends, but it got canceled one way or another for whatever reason it is, and then you have that very deep feeling of disappointment. So if you associate that feeling to the word, next time that feeling comes up, the phrase of "that's a bummer" will just pop up because the association is very strong. And if you get in the habit of always associating a phrase to a situation or to a certain event, it will come up naturally. With a very common example is the phrase "oh my god," and that phrase is used to express surprise or disbelief. And then for some reason, whenever something surprising happens, the phrase "oh my god" just comes up. Then it becomes automatic. So this is why when you associate a phrase to, let's say, an event or a feeling, a situation, or whatever context it is, it will come up more naturally. Number 3 is use. It's not enough to just collect all of these new phrases that you get from the movies. It's very important for you to actually use them in real life. If you are not in a position where you can use English words out loud because you don't live in an English-speaking country, or your environment nobody just speaks English, then you're going to have to look for that environment or just make excuses for you to use them. If you are in this position, the easiest thing that you can do is start writing it in your notebook, in your journal, or even record yourself like this so that you can kind of give yourself an excuse to just say it. Pretend that you are telling a story to your imaginary English speaking friend, so that you can actually make an excuse for to start using all of these phrases that you have collected. Because if you don't use it, it's just going to collect dust and you're going to forget about it. Step number 4 is to analyze. So the fourth step is not always necessary to do if you want to start using your phrases, but it is going to be very helpful if your goal in English is to improve your grammar, your vocabulary, or just your general accuracy in the English language. So what do you actually mean by analyze? Analyzing means that breaking the structure of the phrase, analyzing the pattern. You can start understanding its individual components, like the verbs they use, how the verbs are conjugated, the parts of speech, what kind of conjunction is used in that phrase. And number 5 is to repeat. Repetition is key to memorizing everything, and it also helps you to solidify this phrase in your memory and if you use this a lot, it's going to become your active vocabulary. If, let's say, you learned a certain set of phrases or words from a certain TV show or a movie, you can watch them again and then really try to refresh your memory on how these phrases are used. Because it's not very often the case that you can learn and memorize everything when you just see it once. So make sure that you put yourself in a position where you can repeat these phrases over and over again, so that it becomes a lot more natural for you to use it. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.